Gatlinburg is packed full of great activities and things to do, but with so many choices, where do you even start? Welcome to Bear Facts, where we explore the Smoky Mountains one bear fact at a time. When visiting the Smoky Mountains, there are so many different things to do and see, but not many people have the time or the money to do them all. So how can you narrow down your list of must-sees and do's? This video will focus on attractions in Gatlinburg. We'll list as many top paid attractions you'll find in Gatlinburg and hopefully help you narrow down your search. Initially, I was going to throw out one video that looked at all of the big attractions in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, and Sevierville all in one video. It didn't take me long to figure out that one video just wasn't going to cut it. I realized how unrealistic it would be and it wouldn't give justice to each city. So instead, I decided to cover each of the three big Smoky Mountain cities, Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and Sevierville, in separate videos and highlight the top attractions that each has to offer. This will be the first of a series of videos that will hopefully help you better plan your next vacation to the Smoky Mountain area. I'm going to be blunt and say that there's no way to make sure I cover everything and everyone's interests, or that I won't let my own personal preferences get in the way of my list. Because yeah, it's gonna happen. Though I will try my best to cover the basics, I'm gonna miss mentioning places or gloss over things. But everything on this list got there because they are popular with people and they have a diverse demographic who enjoy going to them. So I apologize now if I forget something or don't cover it. As the title of the video suggests, this video is going to look at Gatlinburg and their top attractions. Now, to be clear, I'm not going to cover the biggest and most obvious attraction that you can access through Gatlinburg, the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. To be clear, it's technically not in Gatlinburg as it's federally owned and operated, but it's also the reason most people even go to Gatlinburg, so I'm not going to cover the obvious. Instead, I will look at attractions that are offered in Gatlinburg and only Gatlinburg. In later videos, I will change directions and focus on Pigeon Forge and then Sevierville. I'm not going to talk about shopping or dining. Those will be for other videos. Way too much to cover in one video. If you aren't familiar with Gatlinburg, you might not realize how small it actually is. The majority of all the attractions in Gatlinburg are on 441 Parkway, a section of highway that takes you into the Smoky Mountain National Park gates. With everything all packed into one small area, the roads and walkways can get extremely congested, but it also makes for getting around by foot easier. A huge advantage over Pigeon Forge and Sevierville, which are much larger cities and more spaced out. Almost everything is within walking distance or a trolley access in Gatlinburg. And that leads me to the first attraction we'll talk about in Gatlinburg. Though the trolleys aren't technically an attraction, they can be. If you want a tour of Gatlinburg without walking and expense and hassle of paying for a tour, the trolleys would be the perfect option. Gatlinburg has its own trolley lines and they are free to anyone. Yes, you heard me correctly, they are free. At least as of 2024, who knows how things will change in the future. But these bad boys won't cost you a dime unless you want to tip your driver. You can just get on and off in any one of the dozens of trolley stops in Gatlinburg and get a free tour of all Gatlinburg without spending a dime. Though those tips are still welcomed by the hard-working bus drivers who will give you any information you need or ask. The trolley offers different colored lines that take you to different parts of the city. The city has an app you can download that will help you navigate the trolley system. It's a governmentally funded app, so don't expect it to be easy to navigate. They try, but let's just say there's room for improvement. One of the most important trolley stops is at one of the major attractions, Ripley's Aquarium. At this stop, you can get onto any colored line you need to. It's also where you can access the trolley that runs between Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, where you can transfer to the Pigeon Forge line. Just be aware that sometimes it's faster just to walk between places instead of taking the trolley. Traffic is quite bad and not even the trolleys get a pass on traffic jams. The trolley lines take you to all of the major attractions, especially one of the biggest and oldest companies to take up residence in the Smoky Mountains, Ripley's. The Ripley's company has a major monopoly in the area. They have at least 7 separate attractions in Gatlinburg that you can go to. These include the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum, which has a lot of odd things and fun interactive activities that the entire family can enjoy. This museum is great for rainy or cold days. They also have the Ripley's Aquarium. This is a great family-friendly place in Gatlinburg that I personally really enjoy. I'm a big fan of aquariums and love to go to them. I think this one is actually a pretty decent aquarium. The underwater tunnel is one of the largest in the country, and it's an amazing experience. We've gone many times and will continue to go. The other Ripley's attractions are smaller. I'm going to gloss over them since they're not activities that take a lot of time to enjoy and might not be worth the cost unless you have a Ripley's ticket package, which would reduce your cost and make them worth going to. There is the Haunted Venture, a mild haunted house experience. There is the Movie Theater, a 3D experience where guests are transported through an adventure that uses 3D images, movement, and other senses to make the experiences more realistic, which I've also heard was getting some much needed attention as well. The Mirror Maze and Super Fun Zone with laser tag and mini golf are also on the list of Ripley attractions. Their newest addition to the Ripley's entertainment venue is the Mountain Coaster Ride, which many people seem to really enjoy. Gatlinburg has 4 competing attractions that offer spectacular views of the surrounding mountains, as well as offer a different approach to entertainment. All 3 have some kind of chairlift, elevator, vehicle, or cable lift system to transport guests to the top of their attraction, where guests get treated to amazing views and vistas. The Space Needle is a 407-foot tall structure built in the 1960s that guests can take an elevator to the observation deck 342 feet above Gatlinburg. This iconic structure isn't the oldest attraction in the city, but it is the most recognized one. You will take a really long elevator ride to get to the top where you can enjoy the 360-degree view of the mountains. This is a great attraction to go to either day or night. And they use the Space Needle to launch fireworks from during the 4th of July celebration as well as New Year's. At the base of this attraction is a giant arcade center. Across the street from the Space Needle is one of the oldest working attractions in Gatlinburg, Skylift Park. This attraction has been in operation since 1954 and is celebrating their 70th anniversary this year. The park was initially renowned for their innovative chairlift system, which even to this day transports guests to the top of their mountainside attraction, providing guests a stunning view of the mountains. They are now more recognized for their highly innovative suspension bridge with a glass tile section for guests brave enough to walk over. Anarchista sits on the mountainside looking at Skylift Park from their high perch on the western side of the valley. Guests can either take a chairlift or a vehicle to the top of the mountain attraction. This is one of the newest attractions added to the Gatlinburg area and is very popular. Their Mountainside Empire has many things to do and see, from mountain coasters, food ventures, tree bridges, to nighttime shows and live entertainment. They keep growing and adding new things every year. The last of the Mountain View attractions is Uber Gatlinburg. This attraction uses a cable car to take guests over 2 miles to the summit of Mount Harrison. This attraction is very popular in the winter as they're the only ski resort in the area. But summers offer guests indoor ice skating, a zoo, and more activities. They were first opened in 1962 and have been a popular destination for tourists and locals alike because of their unique offerings. Gatlinburg also has a wide variety of smaller attractions, such as the Earthquake Experience, which doesn't get a lot of great reviews, but who knows, maybe you'll like it, and many different arcades scattered about. One attraction that doesn't get enough attention is the Mystery Mansion. This is much scarier haunted experience and a better quality one than the Ripley's Haunted Adventure, but they're not on the main strip and can be overlooked. There's also the Salt and Pepper Shaker Museum. This charming little museum has thousands of unique salt and pepper shakers on display. People seem to really like the place, and you might want to consider going if you have the time. Gatlinburg also has the Convention Center. This center hosts a wide array of events year-round. Two of the biggest are the winter and fall craft shows. Though this is really a shopping thing, I thought I would point it out. Keep an eye on their website to learn the dates and times that they have that change every year. Another small but fun place to visit is the Hollywood Car Museum. This attraction features many famous vehicles from big blockbuster movies such as The Avengers and Batman. So if you have a car enthusiast in your group, it might be worth checking out. Gatlinburg boasts a lot of smaller venues like escape rooms, arcades, and miniature golf courses. Hillbilly is one of the more popular miniature golf courses as it takes you on a tram to the top and you can golf your way around the course. There are several mountain coasters in Gatlinburg, including the Ripley's one, and another one that's more adult-centered, as the name says it all, Moonshine Mountain Coaster. Anakista has two on their mountain, and Uber Gatlinburg also has one. There are also places where you can rent Jeeps and ATVs in Gatlinburg, but most people don't hang out in Gatlinburg to play with them, so they really aren't considered attractions. I thought I'd point them out. Though this might not be considered an attraction, I'll still point it out since it will cost money and it's a very popular thing to do in Gatlinburg: fishing. Many people love to fish, and many of those people end up in Gatlinburg. Gatlinburg is well known for their amazing stocked fish and fishing opportunities. Many people just love the idea of walking outside their hotel, throwing a line, and catching a pretty decent-sized trout. If you're one of those people, Gatlinburg will provide that experience. But it's not free. If you plan on fishing in Gatlinburg, you'll need to get a fishing permit. These permits are only good for Gatlinburg. Just be aware that 2024 will have a disruption in stocked fish since their fishing farm is undergoing remodeling. I haven't heard if or when they'll be reopening again this year and when they will continue to restock in Gatlinburg. The next attraction I'll point out is more of a shopping thing, but I would be a terrible person not to give them a shout out. The Crafting Center is a community of local artists and crafters who not only sell their wares, but will often do demonstrations for guests. It's free to walk around and most people end up spending money, so no shame in supporting local talent. The Crafting Center is also one of the few things I would consider using the trolley for, especially if you don't want to drive. The village is a ways out and not a quick walk. Definitely worth stopping and looking around. The last place on my list is one that many people don't know exists: the Gatlinburg Rec Center. This surprisingly affordable public center has a full-size pool, racquetball courts, a small bowling alley, and many other recreational activities that anyone can go and enjoy. It's also perfect for people who are camping and need a place to shower. There is a small fee, but compared to the cost of other places on my list, it's very affordable and worth going to if you have kids. So that sums up the main attractions and offerings in Gatlinburg. Obviously, there are many other things to see and do in this amazing city, but these are the ones that gain the most attention. Though one of the biggest downsides to these places is the cost. The more you do, the lighter your wallet gets. I would highly suggest looking into each attraction, look at cost, look for discounts, and most importantly, look at reviews. I've left a link in the description for my videos on Anakista and Skylift Park if you want to learn more about them. Though I have done a video on Ripley's Believe It or Not and their aquarium, they're a little older, but feel free to watch them. Maybe you can learn more about them. I hope this video helps you plan your visit to the Smoky Mountains. You're getting an honest review from our personal experiences, but facts and things change, so please keep us in the loop if you learn anything new and want to share your experiences in the comments. Thanks again for visiting us at Bear Facts of the Smoky Mountains. Please click that like button and subscribe to our channel.